A 9-year-old girl woke up in the middle of the night and saw a strange man inside her house. Her mother was lying unconscious on the floor, and when the little girl asked what was happening, the man reportedly told her not to worry. Then he picked up Dorothy Forstein, carried her down the stairs, walked out the front door, and Dorothy was never seen again. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Ivy Monroe, and welcome to Her Strange Hour. Now let's get right in. Dorothy Forstein lived in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the 1940s, and from the outside, her life probably looked pretty normal. She was married to Jules Forstein, who worked as a magistrate, and they lived in a home on North Franklin Street with their children. This was the kind of home where you can picture the ordinary things: dinner being made, children getting ready for bed, a phone ringing in the hallway, a mother making plans for the next day. But Dorothy's home was also the place where something terrifying had already happened to her. And that detail matters, because before Dorothy disappeared, someone had already tried to hurt her inside that same house. Now we are going to move forward to October of 1949. Dorothy had survived the earlier attack and had tried to move forward with her life. But the person who hurt her was still out there, and no one knew if he had forgotten about Dorothy or if he was just waiting. On the night Dorothy disappeared, her husband Jules was reportedly away from the house at a political event. There isn't a lot of detail about that event or his ties to politics, but what we do know is that Dorothy was home with the younger children. And nothing about that evening seemed unusual at first. At some point, Dorothy spoke with a friend on the phone. They were reportedly making plans to go shopping the next day. And that detail is important, because this doesn't sound like a woman who was planning to run away. She was making plans for tomorrow. She was home with children in the house, so this should have been just another normal night. But sometime after that phone call, something changed. While everyone was asleep and while Jules was still away, someone entered the home. There were reportedly no clear signs of forced entry, no obvious signs of robbery, no simple explanation for what happened. Just a quiet house, a mother inside, and someone who should not have been there. And then Dorothy's 9-year-old daughter, Marcy, woke up. According to the story she later told, when she woke up, she saw something no child should ever have to see. There was a strange man inside the house. Dorothy was on the floor. She was not standing. She was not talking. She appeared to be unconscious. Now, just imagine being a little girl in the middle of the night in your own home and seeing a man you do not know standing near your mother. Marcy reportedly asked him what he was doing. And this is the part that makes the whole story feel even more disturbing. The man did not run. He did not panic. He calmly told her something like her mother was sick or that everything was going to be okay. Then he picked Dorothy up, carried her down the stairs, and walked out of the house with her. Some versions of the story say he even locked the door behind him. And after that night, Dorothy Forstein was never seen again. No goodbye, no later sighting that explained everything, no body found, just a mother gone from her home, and a little girl left with a memory that became the center of the entire case. Now, before we talk about the theories, we need to rewind, because Dorothy's disappearance is already disturbing on its own. But it gets even stranger when you realize this was not the first time something terrifying happened to her inside that house. 4 years earlier, in January of 1945, Dorothy went out shopping. It was one of those normal errands, the kind of thing you do, come home, put your bags down, and move on with your night. But when Dorothy came back to her house, something was wrong. A neighbor reportedly noticed a man near her, or possibly following behind her, as she went toward the home. Then Dorothy stepped inside, and a few moments later, she was attacked. And that is why Dorothy's disappearance 4 years later feels so hard to explain. Because police were not just looking at one strange night in 1949, they were also looking at what happened in 1945, and wondering if the same person had come back.
So what was ever recovered?
Honestly, not much. Dorothy was never found. There was no confirmed confession, no remains, no clear piece of evidence that explained where she went. And that is why the theories have stayed alive for decades. One possibility is that the same man who attacked Dorothy in 1945 came back 4 years later. And I mean, that is hard to ignore, because Dorothy had already been attacked once inside her home, and whoever did it was never caught. Another theory is that Dorothy was targeted because of her husband's work as a magistrate. Maybe someone was angry at Jules. Maybe someone wanted revenge. But again, nothing was ever proven. And then there is the question that bothers me the most. How did this man get inside? There were reportedly no clear signs of forced entry. So did he have a key? Was a door unlocked? Did Dorothy know him? Or did he find another way in? The truth is, we still don't know. All we have is the story of a little girl who said she saw a strange man carry her mother out of the house. And after that night, Dorothy Forstein was gone. And that is the strange disappearance of Dorothy Forstein, a woman who survived one terrifying attack inside her own home, only to vanish from that same home 4 years later. And all these years later, we still don't know who carried her out that night, or why. So what do you think happened to Dorothy? Do you think the same man came back? Was this connected to her husband's work as a magistrate? Or was there something else going on that no one ever uncovered? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're new here, welcome to Her Strange Hour. This channel was formerly Echoes and Oddities, but I wanted a name that better fit the eerie, strange, late-night storytelling vibe of the show. Here, we'll talk about mostly women-centered stories that include strange disappearances, cold cases, odd history, cult stories, forgotten women, medical mysteries, and true stories that sound like they cannot be real, but somehow are. Same strange stories, just a name that feels more fitting. You can watch Her Strange Hour here on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and read more strange stories on my blog at byivymonroe.com. Thank you for spending this strange hour with me, and I'll see you in the next story.